It is going to be a crazy busy week. I do not want to go grocery shopping, so we're going to do some pantry pulling, and we're going to put together some meals for the upcoming week so that it's one more thing off my plate, so to say. Hello everybody and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and we are all about pantry preparedness. Pantry preparedness in my mind is the best insurance that money can buy. It's also a huge time saver because I don't have to go to the grocery store. I can pull from my pantry and I can create good, healthy meals for me and my home. Let's get started with the chaos that is today. I'm going to throw together some very simple, very easy taco bowls for part of the week. Chicken for me and beef and pork for Phil. I'm going to use Thrive's instant refried beans. Yum, hello. I'm going to give those a try, and then I'm using mild cheddar, the taco seasoning of your choice, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to create these, portion them out, and then put them in the fridge for an easy grab-and-go meal, whether that be lunch or dinner. We're going to do the chicken ones first because it's chicken, hello. So, some wonderful chicken. I am going to pour off the liquid because I'm actually going to use that to make the beans. Okay, granted, I may share just a little bit with Shadow because it's one of his favorites. So in that jar, it's a 1.5-pint jar, I ended up with, how much did I end up with? Learning how to read these things. 3/4 cup of broth, which is super cool because according to the refried beans, I need 1 1/3 cups of water, so I don't have to add that much water to it. Very cool. Okay, so I'm going to take that and put it in the pot, and then I can measure out water to add to it. Not going to let anything go to waste here. We're going to take the chicken and pull it out into a bowl and get this jar to soaking right away. I'm going to take the chicken. This is the easy part, quite honestly. I'm going to take the chicken and just shred it up. Remember that home canned chicken is already cooked. That's the beauty of it. So you could eat it just like this if you wanted. And right now, I'm just meal prepping. I'm honestly only heating up any water and using the pot and the stove so that I can make the instant refried beans. If you don't have those and you have a can of refried beans, just crack that puppy open and don't bother turning on the stove. Beautiful. I also have a strawberry rhubarb pie in the oven for my buddy. I'm going to drop that off this afternoon to her. Okay, so we have sometimes these cans. Okay, these are the instant refried beans from Thrive, okay? And that is what they look like in the can. That's pretty nifty, isn't it? I think so. So we have to measure this. And it takes 1 1/2 cups of the instant refried beans added to the liquid, which is 1 1/2 cups of water. No, 1 1/3 cups of water. New glasses coming. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's 1 1/2, right? I thought so too. So now it pays to turn on the stove. Yeah, here we go again, Lise. So you just want to mix that, get it all incorporated, the water and the beans. If you want, you can add some salt. However, I'm going to add some taco seasoning. They recommend a 1/2 teaspoon of seasoning salt. Let's see. So I'm going to do a full teaspoon of taco seasoning. Well, mostly a full teaspoon, just to get a little bit of that taco flavor in there because it's good. Now it says to bring it up to a simmer. Let it simmer for 4 to 5 minutes, not 45, 4 to 5 minutes, and then take it off the heat. So that's going to honestly be what takes us the longest with this whole setup. While that's coming up to a simmer, we are going to just mix up, come on, you can do it, the taco seasoning and the chicken. Literally nothing else. Literally nothing else, okay? And that's just to give it a really good seasoning. I tend to be heavy-handed with this. I want to taste it. So you measure to, you know, what works for your taste buds. And you're going to notice that it just coats the chicken. So that's all I'm looking for. It's not like making a chicken salad, you know, where you have mayonnaise or something in there to help get it all mixed around. It literally is just coating the chicken. And because I am me, I'm going to add a little bit more. Because I hate it when you can't taste the taco seasoning. Okay. And now I'm going to add some Thrive diced onions. If you would rather use fresh, definitely do some fresh. Once again, I just measure with my heart. Okay, so you do you. And I don't measure this, especially when it comes to meal prep stuff. I just don't measure it, okay? And not to worry, this will not be dry when it comes time to actually heat and eat. But look at how beautifully that shreds up, just with a fork. We're back over here. It's been simmering for a couple of minutes. Just going to give it a little stir. Look at how nicely that's coming together. I do love some refried beans. How about you? Good stuff. I thought this was a great opportunity to use up some of them. Okay, so I'm going to have it there. We're going to pull this off the heat and start filling some bowls. In this case, I used a 1.5 pint jar of chicken. So we shall see how much shredded chicken I get out of that. I am measuring a cup for each bowl. Okay. And it looks like I'll be able to get 4 servings out of this. So 4 cups of shredded chicken, which is perfect. Okay, let's go. We'll just do that little extra scoop right there. Put the bowl to the side. Grab my pot with my refried beans in it. Okay. And we are going to scoop out, oh, let's see. I don't think a 1/2 cup. I think I need a 1/4 cup. Or a 1/3 cup. Okay, fine. Be that way. So I'm doing a 1/3 cup of the refried beans. And I'm just going to layer that on top. This just adds more protein. It doesn't have all the oil and the fats in it that commercially canned does, you know. Can you add it? Yes, you can. Do you need it? No, you don't. Okay, perfect. This will divide up perfectly. Okay, and I'm just going to lay that on top. Okay, one more hand. That is all I need, is one more hand. Okay, might have a smidge more. We shall see. Okay, and that's on top. I am going to make sure to utilize all of it. Which involves a little pot scraping, right? But I mean, look at that. Hello, that cleans up nice, yeah. Okay, so that's on top. And then we are going to add some shredded cheddar because it's good. And because I am a bit of a cheese hound, I'm not going to lie, I am going to put a 1/2 cup. So a 1/2 cup, no I'm not, I'm going to put a 1/4 cup because a 1/4 cup is 110 calories, okay? Now I have to find the other measuring. It appears that I have hidden the 1/4 cup measuring cups on myself. So I'm going to do 2/8 cups, which is, yeah, a 1/4 cup, or 4 tablespoons of it is a 1/4 cup. And we're going to add that to each bowl. So with the exception of the beans, and again, if you use the commercially canned beans, you're going to have to adjust your, you know, calories and fat and all that kind of stuff. But it's even easier because you don't have to heat anything up. You know what I mean? Okay. Simple. Wham bam. Just like that. And then after, when I'm ready to eat this, I will just pull it out of the fridge. I will put it in the microwave. I'll take it out of this bowl and put it into a microwavable bowl. I'll put it in the microwave, and then refried beans. And then I can just stir it all up together. It's so good. And, oh, you guys, wait till you see this. The pie is ready. Oh, and she is pretty. She is pretty, pretty. Okay, so we're gonna let that sit and cool before I have to drive it across town. The really nice part about that is that when it comes time, I can either just heat it and eat it out of a bowl, right? I can throw it over the top of a bed of lettuce, or I can stick it in a burrito. And literally, that is all going to be determined by how much time I have. Okay, so now we're going to move over and we're going to work on the ground beef and the, ground sausage, okay? So with this one, just going to dump it straight in there. And again, we are not heating this part up, okay? And we are going to heat up the ground beef. There's a little bit more liquid in there. So let me get my stuff out of here. How much of a mess can I make? So I'm just going to drain the little bit of liquid that's in there. And the fun part with ground beef is there really is just not a lot of liquid in there. You think that there is, but there's not. Okay. So this is approximately 2 pounds of ground meat. And this is going to get mixed up with taco seasoning. Now, honestly, just by nature, the ground beef is more moist than the chicken breast, okay? When you are canning meats, if you are particularly sensitive to texture and whatnot, some people say that chicken breast is very dry and like pork loin is very dry, okay? But pork butt and chicken thighs are nice and moist. That is because of the fat content, literally. That is the difference. And so depending on what kind of meat you're using, you will have a different variant of dryness. Now, remember the chicken, it was pretty dry. The taco seasoning literally just made a coating, whereas this like literally gets mixed in with it because it's just a more moist meat. And this is lean ground beef. This is very lean ground beef. Okay, so taco seasoning and onions. And what's nice is we can add some peppers or whatever to it when we get to that part. Now for this one in particular, I'm going to mix the cheese right in here with this. Okay, and I'm going to use the big measuring cup. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put in 2 cups of shredded cheddar because this is not hot, okay? So it's not going to melt the cheese, but it is going to get it all nice and mixed in. So it really just depends on what you like, okay? And just like that, just mix it up so that it's all integrated with the ground beef. Now, if you want to have a little bit of fun with this, another great thing to do is skip the taco seasoning, put a little bit of steak seasoning, and when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit, maybe some Wash Your Sister sauce or some A1 sauce in with it, and then add the cheese, pardon me, and you have a really great kind of steakhouse loose burger bowl. It's so good. Okay, see? Super easy, just like that. While the refried beans are simmering for a hot minute, we are going to get this divided up. This is obviously going to make a little bit more, but Phil is also having crab salads, so I'll swap off and on between chicken and beef, which is good. Oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about that, okay, my serving sizes will be smaller. Okay, turn that off, give it a good stir. There we go. It's off the heat. And now we're going to move over to this. Okay, and so I'm going to put 1 cup of the mixture into each container. That is 1 cup, yeah. And then I also have some smaller containers that I'm going to use for myself that are 8-ounce containers. But first we're going to do these. Come on. Okay. Perfect. Okay, just give it a little bit of stir if you didn't get all the stuff on the bottom. It's all good. Okay, and now I'm going to get the other containers. I am not sure how many I'll need, so I grabbed 3. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to divvy this up. These containers are so handy. You can put them in the dishwasher, okay? I personally would not microwave them, but I'll put a link down below so that you can check it out. Because these are pretty much going to get me through the summer. And they're super easy. And the nice part is that it's portioned. They freeze like a dream. Literally. Like a dream. Okay. There we go. So now that I'm looking at that, I'm going to take a little scoopy scoop out of here. And one out of here. Come on. Okay. And now we're going to add the beans. Because they're beans, they're good. So I'm just going to add 1/3 of a cup to each one of these again. And again, yes, you can use the canned, the home or the commercially canned, you know. That's perfectly fine. There we go. And then I'm going to divide what's left into the little servings, because this for me, just because beef has a higher calorie content than say lean chicken or turkey, you know, I am watching the calories too, so I do have to cut back when I do beef. But I can add this, like I said, to a burrito or to a salad. Yeah, that's probably what it'll be. Okay, now easy peasy, just that simple. I have a bunch of pre-made meals for this chaotic week, which starts tomorrow on a Saturday of all things, because some friends and I are going to do a 5K color run. Only we're going to be walking. I'm not quite there to running yet. Can you freeze this? Yes, you can. Even with the cheese in there, you can freeze it, which makes it super nice. And you have some pre-done, ready-made meals. And if you want to add something like rice to it, awesome. You know, you can add, honestly, whatever you want to it. Last but not least, I'm going to throw together some strawberry cheesecake. Yeah, some strawberry cheesecake protein pudding. That's what I'm throwing together. So I have some beautiful strawberries, okay? I have the zero cheesecake pudding. This stuff is so good. I'm using Fairlife, the super light blue one. I don't know what the difference is. Anyway, and then I have Premier Protein vanilla powder. So I showed a protein pudding a while ago on another meal prep video that I did. And this is really becoming a standard kind of treat for us. The calories are lowish, you know. The protein is high. Sugar is very low, so it's all good there. And it could be so much worse than it is. So I do 4 cups of the milk. And I use the Fairlife because it is higher in protein, lower in sugar. And I add 2 of the boxes of cheesecake Jell-O pudding. Stuff is insane by itself. It's crazy. Okay. And then I add 2 scoops of the protein powder for each box of pudding. And so that's 4 for this. And we put it in the blender. It takes 30 seconds to whip up. And just like that, we have a cheesecake-like pudding. Okay, the taste is amazing. Just amazing. Okay, let's do that. I suppose if you wanted to, you could add the strawberries into the blender. But I kind of like having the chunks, you know. So I am just going to dice these up a little bit more, and then we will distribute them throughout the pudding cups as I make them. It's a really great little extra treat that isn't horribly unhealthy. Each one without the strawberries is 175 calories. With the strawberries, it's marginally more, you know. And berries, this is the time of year, my friends. Berries are good for you. They're not high in sugar. They make it a little bit more filling than what it is. And as it stands, I already have trouble eating one of these containers. Not that it stops me, mind you, but it allows us to have a sweet treat without, you know, making it a Snickers bar. Because nobody really needs a Snickers bar, regardless of what the commercials say. Okay, so now I'm just going to throw some of these on the bottom. Kind of divvy them up. There we go. And then we're going to pour the pudding mixture over the top. Just divide it as equally as you can among the 4 containers. These are 2-cup containers, 1-pint container. Now the fun part is that the pudding is aerated because of the blender, okay? So it technically, well, it appears to make more than what it actually makes. It's a beautiful thing. Yes, it is. Stuff's so good. Okay, and then we're going to take the rest of the strawberries and divvy them up and put them on top. And then, dun, 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 we slap the lid on and we put them in the fridge. And then we anxiously await dessert or a sweet treat later on in the day, you know? I love it. I love it. You don't feel deprived, you know, this way. And it's really good. Super simple to make. Literally 30 seconds to blend it up. I may have to try it blending the strawberries in there next time. And whenever I'm ready, we have dessert. I hope this gave you some meal prep ideas. It's not hard to do. It's super quick, especially if you're working from your pantry. The food is already there. Throw it together, make it easier to have your meals on your crazy busy weeks, because we have a couple of those coming up. I'm going to be making Phil another batch of his favorite crab salad. If you want to see how to do that, check out this meal prep video right here. Until next time, everybody, be safe. Stack it to the rafters, my friends.